My name is Allison. I'm 62 years old this year. I usually help out with harvesting at a nearby farm and work as a store clerk at the shop. I've always enjoyed agricultural work, and since my husband Travis retired, I've taken it up not only for the income, but also to keep active. Travis, who is 4 years older than me, retired last year and now enjoys a leisurely life at home. He keeps himself busy with hobbies like gardening and DIY projects. We have 2 sons who are 28 and 23 years old. Even though Travis and I didn't complete our education, our eldest son Merrill moved out after landing a job right after college. Our younger son, Jeremy, is in grad school and lives with us. We're just an ordinary family. Now that our parenting duties are mostly over, we just want to enjoy our remaining years. However, life had a curveball in store for us. It all started with a sudden announcement from Merrill.
"Dad, Mom, there's someone I want you to meet."
Turns out he had proposed to his girlfriend of 6 months, and she said yes. Sure, he's at an age where marriage wouldn't be too surprising, but shy Merrill? We were more shocked than happy. "What's she like? How did you meet? What did you say when you proposed?" I felt like a TV reporter.
"She's stunning. Way out of my league, actually."
Our faces softened at the sight of our son's bashful expression. That Sunday, Merrill brought his fiancée to our home. Her name was Cindy. Tall and slender, with striking facial features, and draped in high-end designer clothes and accessories. While she was undoubtedly beautiful, something about her seemed restless and a little superficial. She examined our entranceway mirror and displayed antiques like an appraiser, questioned the brands of our furniture, and even felt the texture of our teacups. It made us uneasy. Our introductions went smoothly, and it was when I headed into the kitchen to cook dinner that things took a turn. As I was prepping the pan and chopping ingredients, I noticed Cindy standing behind me. "Well, what brings you here?" "Did you and Travis drop out of school?" Cindy suddenly asked. "Yeah, we did. I had to give up on my education in 8th grade due to illness. Travis always dreamed of being a carpenter, so he quit school as soon as he got into 9th grade to pursue that." Cindy shot me a look that could only be described as ice cold, like some high society type looking down on the common folk. Then Cindy shifted her line of questioning to my kitchenware. "You're using such a generic pan?" "Excuse me?" I thought she was going to offer to help, but her words were wildly off from what I'd expected. Keeping my cool, I said, yeah, it's handmade by an artisan. Simple but very functional." Cindy then picked up the pan and examined it closely. "I've never seen such a cheap-looking pan. In our home, we only use $800 pans and $400 knives. We never use such things." "Oh, is that so? Your family must be well off then." She might be good looking, but her complete lack of common sense and constant need to one-up everyone really explains why guys don't stick around. Cindy then started gushing about how wealthy her family is. From prestigious private schools, from elementary to college. They have 3 cars, live in a high-rise in Boston, and even own a vacation home in Aspen. Her dad's a big shot in a trading company, and her mom's been a homemaker since they got married. Never known financial hardship. She rattled all this off as if I should be impressed. If she were the mom of one of my kids' friends, I would have shut her out immediately. But Cindy's one-upping didn't stop there. Is this a gas stove? These days, it's all about all electric and induction. I dislike gas. It's so environmentally unfriendly. Ugh, and your dishwasher looks ancient. Are you even cleaning the dishes properly? Don't you think you should get better dishware for guests? The teacup you served earlier was cheap, wasn't it? Maybe you can't appreciate good things because you dropped down? Hold on, who does she think she is? Cindy complained about everything from our educational background to our household items, then finally declared, "It seems like we're not compatible. I'm going home." And she really did just leave. Meryl followed her out. I was worried this might lead to a breakup, so I called Meryl a few days later. He said,
"Mom, don't worry. Everything's fine."
I couldn't help but ask, if you end up living together, are you going to use high-end pans and knives?
Nah, I doubt we'd cook much, but she's pretty particular about cosmetics. I wonder how much she spends.
I recall her makeup did seem on the heavier side. Still, can a marriage work when their views on money are so different? Our family lives a very average life. Will it even balance out? I'm concerned. You know you'll be sharing finances when you're married. Are you okay being so vague?
It's fine, Mom. I'm just happy that I can marry Cindy.
It seems like Meryl is head over heels in love. No wonder. Meryl is a shy guy, very different from his outgoing brother Jeremy. He's never been the type to have a girlfriend. So when Cindy first came to our house, I couldn't help but wonder, why is such a beautiful girl with our son? Of course, Meryl is genuinely a kind and gentle soul. Maybe it's a parent's greed, but I think he's the perfect guy for marriage. She must have fallen for the person Meryl really is. That's what I think, but I can't shake a tinge of worry. I almost blurt out, maybe you should rethink the marriage. But it's not my place as a parent to interfere that much. If they're happy, then supporting their marriage is my role as a parent. And so, Meryl and Cindy got married as planned. Thanks to Cindy's family connections, they had a grand wedding at a great venue and honeymooned in Europe for 2 weeks. They paid for everything themselves. So it's not about money after all. That was a relief for me. Then something happened. Josie, the 83-year-old mother of my husband Travis, fell at home and broke her femur. Though she recovered, she couldn't walk well anymore and needed nursing care. Josie had been living alone since my father-in-law passed away 10 years ago. Quietly, Josie said to me, "I'm mentally sharp. I'd like to stay at home if possible." But she's elderly and her mobility is limited. Living alone is not an option. So I suggested, why don't you come and live with us? Fortunately, my relationship with Josie is good, and we have enough living space. Jeremy, who would also be living with us, was all for it.
If Grandma wants it, let's do it. I'll help with the nursing care too.
I remember Jeremy always loved Josie. My parents passed away when I was young, so the only grandparents my kids could call their own were Travis's parents. Josie especially took great care of my grandchildren, so my sons still adore her. Thank you. Josie will be thrilled. And so, we welcomed Josie into our home, and my life of providing nursing care began. but the one who had issues with it was, unsurprisingly, Cindy. What? In-home nursing care? Can't you afford a nursing home? The first thing out of Cindy's mouth upon hearing about the nursing care was that. It's not about that. There's a wait list for facilities. Plus, Josie is mentally sharp and wants to stay at home, so we decided to take her in. But Cindy's puzzled look didn't change. If you pay, there are plenty of facilities available, right? In-home nursing care is what poor people do, isn't it? Is she even aware of how incredibly rude she's being? As I forced a smile, Travis, who was beside me, quietly spoke up.
Come on, that's a bit harsh, don't you think? Allison decided to take on the role of caring for my mom. She should be commended, not criticized.
At Travis's words, Cindy looked puzzled, as if unsure why she was being cautioned. No, I have no intention of caring for you or your family. What's the point of looking after people who can't offer anything in return? Cindy's tone and expression were nothing short of hostile. Travis had meant to talk about your own parents, but it seems he'd been misunderstood. We were all taken aback by Cindy's forthright refusal to live together. We'll be fine. We have our plans. Hearing this, Cindy smirked faintly, looking almost snake-like. There were more instances where she seemed to look down on us. A relative whispered to me, "She's beautiful, but such a nasty character. You'll have a tough time with her as your daughter-in-law." All I could do was offer a wry smile. To be honest, I don't like Cindy, but she is Meryl's wife. We couldn't possibly ruin the happiness that our shy son Meryl had finally found. Travis felt the same. We'll have to take measures to ensure we don't end up caring for them. Cindy's loud declaration was met with cold stares from everyone in the family. We never intended to rely on Meryl and Jeremy for our nursing care. Sure, we might need help as we age, but hearing her bluntly say, "I have no intention of taking care of you," really ruins the mood. I want nothing to do with Cindy anymore. From then on, we kept our distance from Meryl and his wife. Then, Josie passed away. She went quietly in her sleep. The suddenness left me with no time to grieve, as I had to quickly organize the viewing and funeral. Of course, Meryl and his wife came to offer their condolences. Cindy showed up in a frilly black dress, heavy makeup like a supermodel, and a pink ribbon in her hair. Her outfit was obviously inappropriate, but I didn't have the energy to point it out. The moment came when I thanked her for attending, right after the viewing, and as we transitioned to the meal. It's good that you only had to provide nursing care for 2 months before she passed, huh? Cindy's voice resonated in the solemn atmosphere. Clearly, the room stirred, and I nearly dropped the food I was holding. Meryl seemed genuinely saddened by Josie's passing, but how would he react to his wife's words? I glared at Cindy with a piercing gaze. She continued, "I've been thinking we'd be inconvenienced if you had to rely on us for nursing care from now on." Her phrasing was both irritating and tedious. What are you trying to say? I barely managed to keep my anger in check. Cindy took a deep breath and said, "Let me be clear. I don't want to associate with broke dropouts like you and the rest. Let's cut ties." A bold declaration to sever relations. This isn't the time for that. Let's talk later, I suggested. No, let me declare it now in front of everyone. That way we have witnesses. Is this really the place to discuss this? Right after the viewing? I felt my first surge of hatred for this utterly insensitive woman. Just when I thought I'd lose my cool to confront her, Travis, who had been sitting quietly with his eyes closed, spoke up.
Fine. If that's how you feel, then you can take all of the $3 million in cash. And the land, too.
He said, addressing Jeremy beside him. $3 million? Land? Cindy murmured, looking perplexed at Travis. Jeremy exchanged a glance with Travis and said,
Sure thing, Dad. If we cut ties, Merrill and his wife are nothing to us.
Jeremy gleefully shouted,
$3 million, here I come!
And stuck out his tongue at Cindy. What's this $3 million? What money are you talking about, father-in-law?
You have no right to call me father-in-law. You just severed ties, so we're strangers now, aren't we?
No. Cindy stumbles over her words. Travis piles on.
We own 3 properties in Boston, just have a boat, and our vacation home is in the Hamptons. So yeah, as you said, we're dirt poor.
Jeremy adds,
Exactly. We can only travel abroad a few times a year, and our pans and knives are custom made, so they don't even have a price tag.
Staying in character like those obnoxious new money families you'd see on a TV drama, Travis and Jeremy lay it on thick. But everything they're saying is actually true. What's your point? I didn't know that. Cindy sneers back at Travis and Jeremy. There's no way a family as poor looking as this has money. Are you making fun of me? Jeremy sighs dramatically.
Ugh, you really don't know anything. Truly wealthy people live modestly most of the time.
Everyone in the family nods in agreement. After all, it's well known that we come from generations of landowners. Let's be clear, we've never had to worry about money. But this wealth isn't something we created. It's been handed down to us from our parents, grandparents, and ancestors before them. So, our philosophy is to live like any other family, not squander the wealth we inherited. However, money has no meaning if it's not used. We indulge occasionally and donate to charity when it's needed. That's all there is to it. Our 2 sons understand this well. They grew up without bragging how wealthy our family is, with a healthy sense of money. Jeremy continues.
It's the same for nursing care. We could have placed our elders in high-end facilities, but we all dislike solving issues with money. We wanted to support them as a family. You probably wouldn't understand this mindset, but that's how we feel.
Cindy, feeling the cold stares, raises her voice. Who do you think you are? Just as she lunges at Jeremy, yelling.
Enough already!
The one who stopped her was surprisingly Merrill, who had been silent until now.
You're possessed by money.
What are you even talking about?
You're all appearances. The 3 cars at your parents' place, they're Travis's company car and rental cars. Even that vacation home is just a company cottage you rent. Your mom told me you got your pots and pans from a thrift store. You never took school seriously, even though your parents sent you to private schools from elementary through college. Can you stop insulting my family now?
At Merrill's brutal truth, Cindy's face turned beet red, and she lost her composure. Hey, stop it! Not here! Nobody cast a sympathetic glance at Cindy, who now had tears in her eyes. Afterwards, Merrill and Cindy divorced. Cindy was blindsided by Merrill, whom she deeply loved, asking for a divorce, and she was quite disoriented. If we're divorcing, I want $3 million in settlement money, She demanded, "Or give me Travis's land and I'll agree to the divorce." Things seemed like they would get complicated, but Cindy's parents stepped in and smoothed everything over. Her parents, who were sensible people, apologized profoundly, saying,
"Our daughter probably has issues about money. We're sorry for her behavior."
Apparently, they had spoiled Cindy, their only daughter. Meryl, who had fallen for Cindy's looks, ended up marrying her, but not for the right reasons. After the divorce, Meryl moved back home.
"I guess I really can't pick women. What should I do now?"
He would complain about this while drinking with Travis and Jeremy.
"Dad, what should I do? How did you end up marrying Mom? Do you want someone like Allison?"
"Well, Mom has always been on my side and she's kind."
"Yeah, I like someone like Mom."
Jeremy, refilling his brother's glass, said,
"Man, Meryl, if you keep talking like a mama's boy, you can forget about remarrying."
But his words didn't resonate with the intoxicated Meryl.
"I've got it. Before getting into a relationship, I'll have Mom vet her. Hell, Dad and Jeremy can help appraise too." "Meryl, that's absolutely not happening."
Both Travis and Jeremy looked at Meryl, visibly exasperated. "Meryl, you're something else." I couldn't help but smile as I listened to this conversation. Parenting sure is challenging. I wonder if spring will ever come for my Meryl. All we can do as parents is watch in silence, and it's a bit frustrating.